Hey guys. So I know it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a video, but this morning, July 20th, 2017, I woke up to some pretty sad news. I read in a post on Facebook, R.I.P. Chester Bennington. And, as soon as I saw this, I honestly didn't believe it. I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was something someone had made up. I just couldn't believe that this would have happened. So I looked a little bit more into it. And the source actually came from TMZ. TMZ, they're usually pretty good with their material. They don't usually fabricate any stories or anything like that. So I've heard, at least. And I saw a few more posts about it, and I came to the realization that Chester Bennington had actually killed himself. He was found in his private home in Florida, and he had hung himself. Now, as soon as I found this out, this hit me pretty hard. I could feel my heart beating pretty quickly, and I, like I said before, I couldn't believe it. Linkin Park has been a really big part of especially my adolescence, and I still listen to their music to this day. Like many, I wasn't a huge fan of their new album, One More Light, which just came out this year, as it was significantly different than their past few albums, even being 1,000 Suns, which was a very polarizing record. That being said, maybe we should have listened more to the tracks, like Heavy. I recently was listening to that on the way home from work, and if you listen to it now, knowing that what has happened, you actually have a whole different view of the song and what Chester was actually trying to say, if that was what he was talking about. I'm still kind of at a loss for words now that I realize this has actually happened, and every time I listen to a Linkin Park song, it's going to have a whole new effect on me. As soon as I got home from work, or on the way home from work, I was listening to their entire discography, and just, if you listen now to the lyrics, you have a whole different perspective of what was actually going through the band or Chester's mind at that time. They were a huge part of my teenage years. I remember this CD, Meteora, probably one of my first CDs that I ever owned, and this was the CD that I time and time went back to whenever I was angry at my dad. Sorry, Dad. Or my mom. Just, being an angsty teenager, I would slam the door and, play my Meteora CD and just lash out at, my life and what was going on and how everything wasn't fair and how I hated my parents at that time and, normal teenage stuff. But they were the band that I felt got me and understood me, and one of the first, heavy metal bands that I really got into. I remember when Hybrid Theory came out, and I remember listening to all sorts of all their songs and downloading them on LimeWire and things like that, and just going back to it now, even a year or two ago, listening to it in the car, music that I could listen to in the gym or the way to work or anything really. Like, they had a song for everything, anything. And again, it was one of my very first CDs that I really ever owned, and like literally this CD, I've used and abused it. It doesn't even stay in the case anymore. It just falls right out. I just cannot believe it. I kind of just want to wake up and it all be a dream, but I was even planning on going to see their show in October, and I'm sure that they're going to be canceling all their upcoming shows, and who knows, if they'll find a replacement in the future. I kind of hope not. I feel like they should probably just take their time and, grieve with their families and go on a hiatus for as long as they really need to deal with this and to get through this. There's never really, it's never really an easy thing. I mean, to feel like suicide is the only way out. I mean, apparently he had like 6 children from 2 marriages, and of course in an extremely popular, well-known band, loved by many. Yes, sure, he did receive a lot of hate, in the last few years, especially with this newest album coming out too, even more. But to feel like you have nothing left except to just take it all away, it just baffles me. It's just absolutely incredible, I mean, who really knows what he was feeling, and but to feel like you have no one to turn to at any moment, and having all this fame and fortune, it really goes to show that money and fame does not equal happiness. It does not give you everything in life. Yeah, and I mean, when Chris Cornell passed, and this is also his birthday, so Chester Bennington was a extremely big supporter, fan, and friend of Chris Cornell, and he ended up taking his own life on Chris Cornell's birthday. When Chris Cornell passed, that was not, as big of an impact to me. As I'm 25, I grew up with Linkin Park, not really Soundgarden. I knew a few of their songs, but Linkin Park was a huge influence on me in my adolescent years. But just all these musicians are just killing themselves, and it's very sad. And this one definitely this one hit hard. This one meant a lot. And now every time I listen to one of their songs, like I said before, it's going to be completely different. Yeah. Sure is a scary thing.